Let's see when this Peter Voogd dude's gonna be here. I see him right now. I'll be right there. So here he is, man. Let's go get him.
Hey man, how you doing, brother?
Good to see you.
Man. Good to see you, man. Come in.
Malibu pad.
They wanted to show the house while we were here. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, what do I get? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, dude, I mean, it's my house. It's my house for 20 days. Yeah. So what do I get? And they're like, how about 500 for lunch? I said, that's good.
Wow, that's funny.
So the guy he just walked in and gave me $500 so they could show the house. I'm like, hey, that's how real estate works, man. Yep. Who has control of the RE gets the money. And if you don't get the money for controlling the RE, you ain't got the investment income RE. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, check it out, man. Great to have you here, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
So, look, I found this place online, okay? I found this joint online. Yeah, you can take as much video as you want, dude. But you know, your mind needs to hold the picture.
I know.
Because Instagram gets rid of it in 24 hours. My mind never gets rid of this shit. Okay, I'll tell you a story. I moved to La Jolla because you know San Diego.
Yep.
I went to San Diego one time when I was 32 years old. I was supposed to meet a dude there that sold real estate. He's like, meet me in La Jolla. I'd never heard of La Jolla. I've never been to San Diego.
It was like the Malibu of the San Diego area.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Still is.
Yeah. And so I went to Windy Beach. I was supposed to meet this dude there. He no-showed me. And goddamn, I'm trying to remember his name. He was from Houston, Texas. I lived in Houston at the time. He no-showed me. I stood on the beach. I looked up, and I said, I'm going to live here one day. I was 32 years old. There was no way I could live there.
What was your current bank balance?
I don't remember. I mean, I had a house that was $125,000 house.
So you couldn't obviously get La Jolla at that point.
I couldn't. There's no way I could buy there. I owned a $125,000 house in Houston, Texas, and I was scared I couldn't make the payments on that thing. So I left there, went home, but I locked this picture, this image in my mind of this little place. Went home every day and wrote, I own a house in La Jolla, California, on the ocean. 3 years later, I bought within 50 feet of where I was looking. Okay? Did not know until I bought the deal. Later, after I moved in, I'm like, fuck, that's where I was when I made the decision.
Wow. That's definitely something that you internalized.
Yeah, totally. And that house was $875,000, no air conditioning. I bought that house and was never happy in it because it was 50 feet from where I should have been.
Bigger house? Or you just didn't?
On the ocean. It was on the ocean. I bought across the street because I compromised myself because I was so freaking scared.
Yeah.
So bought the first house at $875,000.
So you're in there, but you can't fully enjoy it because you know you should be at the other house.
I was looking over the house I should have been in the whole time.
Yep.
So it was killing me, man. Every day I'd watch these people pull out of that house. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in that house. The chick that I was with at the time was she's like, oh, we're so happy here. I'm so happy here. I don't need that. When she left, literally within 8 months, I bought that house across the street. So
you don't need people to tell you don't need something.
Dude, it was just true for me. And by the way, she didn't need it, was true for her.
Yeah.
So this is the master bedroom. I don't spend any time on this deck. It's the next one I spend time on.
So you don't like thinking too much about where you came from?
No, I don't. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't, because like I'm looking at all this, man. It's like, what else can I do, man? What? So I don't spend much time in the past, and I think it's because, one, I spend a lot of time cleaning my past up, so I'm not stuck in it anymore. Yeah. I'm not. I think people that spend a lot of time looking at the past and what happened, and mom, dad, the injustices that were done on them or whatever they did. I think they have not cleaned up their own past, and I spent a lot of years. I spent probably 10 years of my life cleaning up all the shit I did that I wasn't proud of. And when you do that, when you really clean up the street,
clean peace of mind, and you can focus more.
When you clean it all up, I think that's why people spend so much time trying to meditate, searching out all these ways. But the reality is, look, until you get rid of the thing you keep stopping on, thinking about, concerned about. I remember I worked in a grocery store when I was, 17. Market Basket, one of my first jobs I was fired from.
That was in where?
Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's where you're from.
And I used to beat the freaking vending machine. So I figured out, I was a stock boy, and I figured out how to rip off the vending machine. I'd go in there and freaking rip quarters off. First day I got 3 quarters, next day I got 30 quarters, next day I got 300. And I'd rip that machine off every day, okay? One day I quit working there. I lost my job there, actually. Not because of that, because I was, you know, I wasn't focused. But that freaking stealing that money, like literally like haunted me for probably 20 years. And it was no money. I went back there later when I was 30 years old, brought back a bunch of quarters over there. I said, look, I don't even know how many I stole, man. I said, probably 1,000 quarters.
You went back?
Yeah, I said, here's 2,500 bucks. That's got to cover it. And I think I brought the guy like 2,200 bucks I had. I said, look, I'll give you the whole 20. I have no idea what I stole from you, but I know I stole from you. And he's like, man, I wasn't even here then. Don't worry about it. Keep the money.
But it's
it
funny.
Cleaned it up for me.
I got
right?
in trouble too for stealing when I was 15, 16. I stole pants from Emporium and stores, and I didn't feel bad for years. And I think that's why now, the last couple of years, I promote just being a world-class person, be a good person, integrity first, ethics, because I wasn't like that growing up. So it's interesting that you say that, because I haven't really thought about why I love being around good people. I hate negativity. I hate people that bitch and complain. I hate people that are not ethical. That's why I relate to you. Because you're not like that, but that's one of the reasons. Because when I was younger, I did stuff like that, and I was like, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So it feels good to be.
Dude, it looks like you stole these jeans from somebody.
No.
Huh? Nah.
Hey, we got a big age gap, my man. You don't know about these.
Yeah.
If I get you a pair, will you wear them?
I doubt it.
So what do you tell the young hustler that has the drive and ambition, but no clarity? They know they want these things.
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of younger entrepreneurs talking about want, I'm gonna be, but they don't have the action plan.
I don't think about anybody's age.
Yeah.
Like, why are we talking about your age, your color, your upbringing, your girlfriend? I think the problem is that we were all miseducated about money.
That's a fact.
People stop with what they think is good enough. You know, if you were brought up to understand that 300 grand, you can't live on 300 grand.
No.
You would have never stopped on the first 300.
No.
You wouldn't have had to have somebody tell you 300 was nothing. So I had a guy in here yesterday, older than me, came in for a coaching session. He's making 600 grand a year. Been making 600 grand a year for years. Came to me for help. I said, dude, how you live on that?
Yeah. Where's he live at?
I don't know. What does it matter? He can live in Ethiopia. How you live on 600? How you live on 600 grand, man? The guy looked at me like his eyes all like, huh? Huh? I said, how you live on 600 grand? He's like, I'm doing all right.
That's his first.
And then he says, well, I'm not living like you. I said, bro, it ain't about me. Okay? You got to quit lying to yourself. Okay?
So he got defensive in a way.
Totally.
Wow.
Totally. I'm doing all right. I'm like, bro, you don't want to, you came down here. Where did he come from?
He lived in California out here.
I think he's up north. He got on a plane, flew down here with his family to spend some time with me to figure out how to go to the next level. I'm telling the guy, dude, first thing you got to do is you got to understand that where you are, you have to become completely like sick of it.
Pissed off,
sick. Like people are always like, man, you're so hard on yourself. I'm like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I be hard on myself? I'm an honest person. And if you're an honest person, that means you need to know your potential. And anything short of living at that level, acting at that level, thinking at that level, hanging out with people at that level is basically a compromise on your own integrity. So I know what I'm capable of. It's probably what made you uncomfortable with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, my mom used to tell me, she'd be like, oh, I'm so proud of you, you know? You've done so much. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I need to prove something to me.
There's a lot more you're capable of.
Yeah, because I always knew what I was capable of. It wasn't about money, right? It really wasn't about, I mean, I was counting the money, but it wasn't just about money. It was about my potential. And so that's what I would tell the young people, man. You got to change the way, and by the way, young to me is just, are you young or not? And I've always had a lot of energy. So whether I looked really young, how old are you?
31.
Yeah. So you look young for your age, right?
Yeah.
So you looked very young for my age. So when I was 31, I was insecure because I was like, damn, I think I look like I'm 23 or something. And I kept hearing that. People would tell me that all the time. Oh, you look really young. You're really young for your age. Da, da, da. But dude, nobody cares. When you're making a pitch, when you got a great product, a great service, you got some value, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Jesus was 33, man. And ain't nobody said, we can't hang him, he's 33. We're not going to put him on the cross, he's too young. Okay? When he went through the market and tore the place up, right? He didn't say, oh, I'm just 33.
Yeah.
Alexander the Great was 16, man. He was doing his mama and the planet.
I think people use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, most people spend the first half of their life saying they're too young, and the second half they're like, I'm too old to do anything.
Yeah, Peter
So
didn't get that thing about Alexander the Great doing his
I didn't
mama.
hear what'd you say?
I said Alexander the Great was 16. He was doing his mama and the whole planet. Yeah.
When I was growing up, when I had a lot of energy and a lot of urgency and I wanted to accomplish more, my environment subconsciously was holding me back.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were okay with 50, 60K, even 100K.
Yeah.
So what was changing your environment and changing your circle of influence a crucial part of the
Totally.
income going up and
I mean,
the mindset going up?
Yes and no. Okay, here's the deal. The whole thing about the 5 people. You know,
Yeah.
the 5
you
people.
are the 5 you spend the most time with.
If you grew up the way I did, man, on Thanksgiving, you go home and you're with your family. Christmas, you're going to be with your family. Most of your family didn't come from anything. So I don't think it's the 5 people as much as it's the 5 things you're doing every day.
So execution.
Dude, who you doing it with?
Yeah.
What actions are you taking every day, okay? What are the 5 things you do every day that can propel you forward? What are the 5 things you're doing every day that are pulling you back?
Let's talk some of your, now at your level, your non-negotiables. What are the non-negotiables?
No matter where I am, dude, that's what I'm thinking about.
10x everything.
Everything. No matter what level I'm at right now, okay? I'm at 4,000 units. I'm thinking about how to get to 40,000.
What's a non-negotiable? What are some non-negotiables though? You're here, you're in Beijing, you're in Miami, you're in Florida. Like what's a non-negotiable every day that you do that's a must?
Try to wake up, man. Wake up. Hey, you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? Okay, good. Do good, okay?
Coach
She
G.
any good?
Yeah, she's great.
You guys look great.
Thank you.
So,
What are you doing?
man, where you going, Peter? You protecting those shoes? Huh?
Yep.
Pussy. Total pussy right there. See, I would tell young people that shit right there.
What?
All people. Don't worry about looking cool, man.
Dude.
Protect your shit. So anyway, what are non-negotiables? Non-negotiable. I don't really think about that.
Well,
Peter.
just things that you do. Maybe they're subconscious that you do, but what do you do? Check your email. Is it call your team? Is it check your goal list? Is it make sure you get sales done? Anything that happens every single day, reoccurring?
I wake up every day, man.
Okay,
Shit.
one.
Number
What
one,
else?
I wake up every day. Take a piss in the morning.
Okay, 2.
I love my kids.
Kids,
know,
3.
You know, I spend a lot of time flowing power and confidence to my kids. Like I give my kids opportunities to have success. I check my stats every day. I check my money every single day.
There we go. Okay.
You know, but are they non-negotiables? I don't operate with a bunch of rigid.
That's good. Well,
Right?
I'm trying to
See,
get
like
that.
this, okay? Yeah, my life is not very rigid, but I get a lot. Like the guy that talks about time management. Like I don't even understand what he's talking about because I don't manage time. I just get a lot of shit done.
Yeah.
So I create a lot of time. I get a lot of stuff done.
And a lot of things you're doing, they're paying off later as well. So you're doing things that make money right away, and you're doing things where you're planting seeds for 5-10 years.
80% of the stuff I do doesn't pay me anything today.
People need to understand that because a lot of people are instant pleasure, instant pleasure, instant
Yeah.
pleasure. And then in 10 years, they don't have anything.
Most of the things I do will never pay me anything. Will never pay me one penny. It will not financially remunerate me. Now, those things that I don't get paid
Give
to
me an
do,
example of one.
deals I've looked at.
Okay, got it.
Speaking gigs I've done, okay? I was doing 250 gigs a year.
Wow.
speaking, paid speaking, but I would do another 60 a month that I was never paid for.
Wow.
Okay, so I've done, who knows how many interviews I've done, thousands of interviews. I'm never gonna be paid anything for them.
So you're getting things done. You don't have a rigid schedule where it's the same every day.
Well, no, it's not rigid for me at all. So.
Oh, you were talking about properties. You looked at how many?
So I looked at, in Houston, I was there, we were in Houston a week. We looked at 18 properties, 5,000 units in 3 days, went back and looked at another 5,000. I hadn't bought any of them yet.
So a lot of time.
Dude, I'm spending gas money, hotel money, nanny money, because I'm bringing my kids with me. I flew the plane over there, dude. I'm bleeding money. I would tell everybody, man, spend money. Spend way more money than you think you should be spending. Okay, advertise, market, pitch, promote, stay in the game. Don't hold on to that baby money. You're holding on to baby money. You're doing the whole, I'm a hustle, I'm a grind, I'm a plan, I'm a manage time. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Spend that freaking money, dude. Okay, money, spending money today. Spend that old money you got so you can get some new money.
You said something that stood out that I've done these past couple years with properties is I want to unload the money I have so I can not only have more hunger where it's like, oh shit, I don't have much money in my account. I just spent $300-400 on a property. You do the same thing. People don't realize that. You'll spend 15 million, get the property and reload again. So you're saying, yeah. I mean, I think when I grew up, Grant, people were obsessed with saving.
Yeah.
Even my parents and my teachers and everyone's like, you got to save. Yeah. And I don't know if that comes from insecurity or that comes from a fear of the future.
No,
it's like
it used to work. It used to work. That economic plan.
Why are they still promoting it though?
Well, because it used to work, dude. It was the way. It was the way of the world. No. Since the Great Depression, it was the way of the world, man. It was like, hey, save your money. In the 50s, buy a house. But, you know, when I grew up, my mom was getting paid 12% at the bank. Yeah. Today, that pays a half a point. That means
you're losing money.
You're losing money, number one. Number two, she was earning her money was banking 24 times faster than my money will today. Is that right? Yeah. Half to 12? Yeah.
So people were used to saving, putting in the bank. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, you could save. It did work. Okay? But that doesn't work today because the money's not going to earn anything. The money should be used to make more money, to make you bigger, faster, known better. And that's what I started doing really after the crash.
Is
in
investing?
2009. In 2009, man, I quit holding on to old money. And the first 25 years of my career, I saved everything, dude. And it did help me. It got me to some places, right?
So you believe in saving now for people, or you don't?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I just want to get that clear.
No. I don't believe in. I believe people should freaking put that wood on the fire.
So put it back into yourself, your team, properties,
advertise, market, spend, invest in what you need to know. So all those properties that I looked at while I was in Houston, so I can wrap this idea up. I looked at. Why would somebody go look at 10,000 apartments and not buy any of them? Because I ran into one building, and when I drove up on it, dude, it had a different vibration than everything else I looked at. I drove up on the deal. I'm like, who owns this deal? Found out who owned it. I'd done a deal with him 2 weeks before that I didn't buy.
Oh, interesting.
That I didn't buy. I put a phone call into him. He didn't return the phone call. Another wasted effort. Apparently. I called the dude that knows him, that I worked the other deal on, that didn't go through. And I said, man, can you get me this deal? I want this deal off market. I'm going to overpay to get it. Now, why would I overpay to get a deal that's off market? Why would I chase something off market when all this other shit is on the market?
The equity, you know, the vibes.
Okay? No, the vibe, dude. It was all that shit I looked at that I didn't buy. All that stuff I looked at, I'm like, this piece of property, this trophy right here.
So you might not have known that if you didn't look at all the other stuff.
I wouldn't
there
know
we
it,
go.
Right? I wouldn't have the wife that I have today if I wouldn't have gone through all the skanks that I went through.
And you're not proud of all of them?
No, I'm not proud of all of them. Dude, some of them, I'm like, who brought you here? Who brought you here? How'd you get in my house this morning? What you doing here? And dude, I wasn't even drinking or drugging. So anyway, it was all the misses. They look like misses. I would tell everybody, man, look, just because it looks like a miss today, doesn't mean it's not giving you knowledge. You know, one thing that I know that people are doing wrong today is they're learning. People are spending so much time learning.
Not making
They don't know
mistakes,
anything, man.
yeah.
You got to know something. I don't want to learn. I want to know. Okay, so when I go on a deal, this deal's going to be $90 million.
The one in Houston?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm overpaying for it. I know it. Okay. I know the bank's going to tell me, dude, you're overpaying for it. I know that. I know the seller is going to hold on and get the last penny. And I also know this. I'm going to make $90 million in that deal. It isn't going to be today.
But you're seeing things that other people won't see.
I know, dude. I know. I've looked at enough stuff, okay, that I know that deal is going to be, if I don't make $90 million on the deal, I'll buy you dinner for the rest of your life. I could make $200 million on the deal. So
90's low end.
So, but you know what? When I lived in Houston, Texas, I shopped real estate every day, every weekend for 3 years and didn't buy one thing. When I moved to San Diego, I bought 500 units the first year I was there.
You're hands-on. See, a lot of people I know, they have teams that go do that. So you're really
that's good. That's good.
But I mean, they have teams that are looking at stuff.
Nobody picks my deals.
But I like that though. You're in the trenches looking at them, making sure they're the right deals.
None of those guys. Those guys learn. Those guys have information they don't know. They don't know why something feels so good, right? And they don't trust themselves either. So this is the stuff they don't teach you in school, man. And that, by the way, you can't learn in a book or a podcast.
We could have a 3-hour interview right now on what they don't teach you in school that they should.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. Well, what's the worst advice you ever got, or the worst advice you hear getting thrown around out there right now? Anything that kind of stands out that's just like,
hustle,
how are people
hustle,
still saying that?
Hustle. I mean, there's so much bad advice, dude. It's unbelievable. Hustle, grind. Most people are hustling and grinding. Dude, you got to get in a vehicle, man. You got to. Here's a piece of advice. Do what you love, man. What's going to happen if you do what you love?
Might go broke.
No, the money will follow. That's what they say. But that's not true, man.
Yeah.
There's no proof of that anywhere. And some big dudes say it too.
Yeah.
Some really successful people say it, but I don't think people are really looking at what they're saying.
Oh, it's tough to respect a lot of people. If we're just going to be 100% real, it's tough because they're promoting one thing and how they became successful was the other way. They're not even promoting how they actually got to where they are.
Yeah.
I like the interviews, Grant, too, where people are just being fully real on who they are, how they came up. A lot of interviews these days, the interviewers or the people getting interviewed are thinking about exactly what they can say that's going to make them popular with the audience. I like the interviews where they have no fear. They don't give a shit about what the audience thinks. They're just telling their story.
Yeah.
I like those interviews because
Well,
they're not thinking
I
about.
I don't even know if I'm right about anything I'm saying.
But it's your experience.
For another person, I just know it's right for me.
Exactly.
So that's what I know, though. You see, the difference between knowing something and learning something, you know, dude, it's radical.
Yeah.
So most people just don't know. They learn. They have data. They have information. They got knowledge without knowing.
So out of what you know, so when you have people come to your place, you coach them, they pay you to obviously help them, is the first thing you work on their psychology, their perspective?
No, not really, because I mean, it's not.
It's different for everybody, huh?
Yeah, it's different. It's like, hey, what do you want to do here, man? My first question every time is, what do you want to do here?
So they have to get clear. And
What do you want to do? I don't know what they want to do. I just really wanted you to sign a book. All right, well, let's do it. Let me sign a book and let's. I mean, is there anything else? I want to over deliver, right? So I need to find out what that guy or gal wants. Everybody's got a different set of problems. I've had people come to me that, you know, people that were worth $1 billion. That are like, they got a different set of problems than the guy that's worth 100 million, a different set of problems than the guy that's worth 10 million, a different set of problems the guy has no money at all.
So what you really want is different sets of problems.
Yeah, all four of them could be broke. You know, you can, doesn't matter how much money you have, you can still be broke.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
And by the way, we're all broken somewhere. I'm trying to fix something all the time, right?
So it's based on really what they want. So I think that one of the first steps for anybody to get to the next level is figure out who they are and what they want and why they want it.
Who you are, what you want, and where do you want to go. And by the way, the decisions you've made about where you want to go, is that your decision or somebody else's?
Yeah, your parents.
Your brother, your uncle, the movies, some podcast you heard. You know, again, me and Lewis House were talking about, he's like, man, you talk about money a lot. I said, yeah, bro, I do. And nobody is. Why? The question
It's
ask
uncomfortable.
is not why do I talk about it so much? Why is nobody talking about it? Why is it we can't talk about money?
You're one of the only people that blatantly, openly say you should get rich.
Dude, why is that?
People cringe. They say, wow, what do you mean rich?
Totally. So the question to ask is not why do I do it? It's why does our culture like have a problem with it?
Yeah. What do you tell the single people out there that are looking for their lover, looking for their soulmate, looking for their significant other? Dude, what's the advice?
Look for yourself. Look for yourself, man. Find yourself first. Most people don't have anything to offer anybody.
And they're looking for Mr. Right when they haven't even got right themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So look for yourself. Spend time making yourself right. My wife would tell you that she wasn't even ready for me. Like, she kept wondering why she couldn't get a good dude, and she finally realized one day it's because she wasn't good. I couldn't get the right chick for me because I wasn't ready, man. I didn't have my game worked out. Yeah. And for me, that game was, man, we going into the ghetto right here.
The ghetto of Malibu.
The ghetto of Malibu. For me, I hadn't worked out. I didn't feel good about myself yet. And who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Everybody's got you got a different, whatever that is for you than I do, for me.
Yeah.
And it changes.
So I want to get this straight because I'm just thinking about a lot of people having questions where you say, yes, you're broken, you're always fixing yourself. Where's the happy median of fixing yourself but not dwelling on it all freaking day long?
Oh, no.
I'm this.
Well, dude, if you have to keep fixing something, you didn't fix it.
So fix it, move on.
Should be something new. Should be something new to fix.
Bigger problems.
Not something old. If you're fixing the same shit, that's what I hate about psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists. They're always fixing the same thing, attempting to fix the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but they're getting paid $3.50 an hour. They want you to come back.
Yeah. So, and they never fix it.
Yeah.
So if you're working on the same problems, you got the wrong technology.
I'm here with the man, the myth, the game changer, the big baller. G, thanks for having me, man. This is an amazing experience, amazing property. We got airplanes flying over the ocean. We almost got tackled by some waves. It's fun, man. I'm excited to be here. So I want to hit on something that you just said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I said, how's your social media doing? How's this doing? You're like, oh, I'm not crushing it really.
Yeah.
So your standards are extremely high. I've noticed that. So you could be better than most people, but you're still not crushing it in your eyes.
Oh yeah, I know for sure I'm not crushing it. So, you look at the possibility of any of the distribution channels. I mean, pick one: Snapchat to Facebook to Instagram. I mean, it's so enormous.
Compared to your capability, you're not even close.
Well, and to the availability of traffic out there, I think there's more people on social media than there are people.
Well, yeah.
So it's the most schizophrenic universes I've ever seen, because the guy on Facebook's different when he gets to Instagram, is different again when he gets to Snapchat, and different again when he gets to YouTube, and he hadn't yet gotten a phone call or an email, and I hadn't walked into his office in person, so there could be 7 or 8 personalities right there. When he goes to Facebook, he's interested in one thing. When he goes to, but this is not a new thing, because like if you go to a country club, you're different than if you go to maybe a Republican dinner or a Democratic dinner, or you go to an entrepreneurial event. You got a different expectation. If you go to the Mayweather McGregor fight, you're going to probably be
do you endorse that? Is that you, different personalities, or do you try and stay super authentic in every environment?
No, I try to figure out how to work that distribution channel, right? So if there's different, if your personality shifts a little bit, I'm trying to cater to that, to what's the expectation there, and so that I can hit a frequency with that individual there that's 14 years old on Snapchat or that's 54 years old on Facebook, that what do they want to see there? How, I'm clearly making inroads with my audience, but how do I move into another audience's space?
Yeah.
And,
So really
and without just buying
strategically.
traffic and numbers. So, dude, do I think I'm doing a good job on social media? I think I do a horrible job on it.
There's
do
people.
I think I provide great content? Yes, but I don't think content wins in that game.
What wins?
Distribution,
So standards wise,
like you got to hit the. I mean, it's one of the toughest games I've ever played. Is social media, the social media game, but it's one of the most costs nothing to get in it.
it's fulfilling if you do it right, and
You do it
obviously
right.
you make money.
You get to meet people. I mean, it's one of the great gifts of mankind is that we can all now, meet. The biggest challenge I probably have today is figuring out what that person. How do I get their attention? What do I give them? Is it this book? Is it the 10x rule? Is it audio? Is it video? Is it a download? Is it a link? Is it a nothing? Is it real estate advice? What do I give that guy or gal? How do I track who's who, what they want, when they want it, how they want it?
I think it's never ending either.
And then
you can't figure it out.
And then the big problem, the big problem is the language barrier, right? So at what point do I need all this content in 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 languages?
Yeah.
This book got translated into 38 languages. I wrote it in 2 hours.
I didn't realize how small it was.
Yeah. It's interesting how people measure books, big, small.
You never know when you see it online. But so social media wise, you're catering to the different audiences and you're constantly testing and experimenting and figuring out what avenues you can use, what books to promote. That's interesting. I don't think people think like that when it comes to social media.
Yeah.
And a lot of people these days, they don't have resourcefulness state of mind where they're thinking, how do I do this? I have no money. They're not taking advantage of social media. They're not. Do you realize, I think it was 2012, I reached out, Twitter, said, Grant, I'd love to interview you. Let's figure something out. Let's make something happen. Respect what you do. You hit me back. I've connected ever since, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just from social media.
Yeah.
You can't connect with people like you can these days 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that people can get a hold of people that are, I guess, in their space a celebrity or have a lot of influence is amazing. Yeah. I don't see people taking advantage of it, or they're reaching out the wrong way.
Yeah.
What is there any ways that people reach out to you that annoy you because it's the same as everybody else with no effort? It's like, hey, Grant, give me your time.
I get a DM on Facebook, so let me see how many I have right now. I probably have.
This will be a lesson for people to stop reaching out in a way that's not strategic.
It's not that you wouldn't reach out there or like that, right? I think there's 585 messages here right now.
So let's pick one. You should pick one and
let me see here.
Explain what's wrong with it. Let's get real.
Let me see. Where's my message bar? See, I don't know how to find that, right? So every once in a while, I get.
It should be a different app. It should look
Yeah,
like
I
this.
get. What I get is here they are. Here they are. So let's see what it says. Oh.
Yeah, continue. Yep.
No, I don't want to do that. No.
That's fine.
You're a messenger. I don't want. Okay. So what does that say?
There we go. So these are all your messages.
Yeah.
99 plus.
Grant, I hope you're doing amazing. Can you please add me when you get a chance? I'm trying to gain more reach for blah blah and blah blah who are friends. Thank you very much. Hey, dude. I have. What does that number say right there?
928.
Got 928 of those, man.
So
Okay.
hold on. He reaches out and says, "Can you please do something for me?
Yeah.
For someone that I know, so I can expand
Here's
my reach."
another one I get. I get 5 of these today. This guy's trying to help me. Hey, it looks like somebody's pretending to be you. You should report him for impersonation. Now the right thing for him to have done is, hey man, I want to let you know I got your back.
I already took action.
I took action.
Yeah, there we go.
I am reporting this dude for impersonation. Can't wait to meet you one day or something. So, I mean, this goes on and on. Okay. Hey, did you give the
$1 million.
taking $1 million out of a bank story to a PR to place for you. Oh, this guy's trying to help me. Okay. So
some are trying to help, but some are just trying to get time.
But the problem is, man, I got 900 messages to go through. So number one, is this where I go? I do not go to Facebook for my messages. I don't do it. I don't use Facebook for that, right? So you got to ask yourself, the first thing is where does Grant go to his get his data? Okay, the way to get data to me is through Katie. You know,
but I realized at that time
you got lucky.
Here's my thought process. You were on Twitter a lot.
I was banging Twitter. Yeah, I was banging on Twitter,
and I think I hit you twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, maybe.
And I said, I want to promote your stuff. I want to get your stuff out there to my audience. My audience is not as big as yours, I said, but I still want to help. Yeah. And you said, good. In my profile, obviously you have to have a decent looking profile and be someone that.
But maybe not. I mean, people have asked me to do that before, and sometimes it's just a timing thing.
Yeah.
The woman I'm married to, man, I could have done everything perfect from the get-go. I didn't. She wasn't ready, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So some of it's going to be persistence, just like, hey, how do I keep doing a nice professional job? By the way, if I'm not on Facebook today, am I on Instagram? How can you get my attention there, right? So, and you can't keep banging on the same message. That's the other mistake people make. When they go into the 10X mentality, the obsessed thing that I promote, they tend to, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Yeah, but dude, like.
Be strategic somewhat.
Like right now, you're not looking professional. You're just looking like 10X mania rather than 10X like polished, creative.
So someone started from scratch, social media, they realize the importance. What are the steps? Is it get on there and start figuring out who you are and give value? Is it connect with people? What's the steps?
I think first thing's frequency, just start banging hard and fast, like until you figure out what's going on.
So get on different platforms, Instagram, Snap.
Maybe just one, maybe figure out how to bang one out. And what's the message? Like, I think most people don't even know who they are yet. I know who I am. My message is clear the whole time. I'm doing a real estate show on Mondays, so we have real estate content getting dropped hard there, right? Tuesdays, I'm doing an interview with somebody that's in power. Wednesdays, I'm doing the G&E show. So I have these verticals that I can speak about that I know. It goes back to what I was saying on the beach, which is, don't learn stuff, know stuff. Right? I know how to use my phone. I don't need to learn about it.
What if someone says you have to learn to know, though?
Well, you do have to learn to know.
But you're saying don't study everything.
But people are spending 17 years to learn and don't know anything. Like, people are amateurs about every freaking thing they do, And so some guys say, stay in your lane. I say, no, man. Look, you don't stay in your lane, bro. You go in the direction you're going on, okay? And if you this Fast and Furious shit, okay? Like, I might have to freaking jump what's the centerpiece? I might have to jump the median. I want to use all 12 lanes. You're in LA, you better learn to use all lanes, okay? The feeder, the freeway, okay? You might need to take a detour. So
it's not about staying in your lane, it's about doing whatever you have to do to get the results you want.
To get where you're going. Like, where am I going? I'm in a car, I'm in a lane because I'm trying to go someplace, right? So I know the concept is stay in your lane, do what you're good at. You need to get good at moving the freaking vehicle forward. And if that means I got to drive a truck or a Hyundai or a used car, or I got to get in the car with you or get Ubered or take a plane or whatever, dude, whatever it takes, but you got to know where you're going and figure out how you're going to, without getting arrested. You don't want to go the way of OJ, you know? So, but.
So before that, Grant, the vehicle. I see a lot of people going hard in the wrong direction, and they don't thoroughly think through where they're going, or they don't figure out who they are. So 3, 4, 5, 10 years goes by, they're in the wrong profession. They're frustrated because they had the wrong vehicle. Do you tell people to find the right vehicle first? Or do you tell them to fail, and take action until they have it?
I think I talk about this in this book, right? By the way, we give this away for free, so I'm not pitching a book. I want to give 1 million of these away. I know if I give 1 million away, I'll sell 10 million.
Where you at with it?
Well, I'm knocking on the door. So, but people should figure out their money first. This is the biggest mistake I made in my career. If I had my career to do all over,
I can tell right now you're getting passionate instantly.
If I could go back and start again at 29, I would not go out and teach people how to sell. Because that's what I became known for. I became known as like I am the king of that space. I know that. All my contemporaries know it. Like, 10 of us show up in a room, sit around here, play poker, they know I am the king. Okay, so, and I'm proud of that. But I wouldn't do that way again. I would teach this first. Because if you don't understand money, you're never gonna hit the level of sales necessary. If you don't know money, your business is never gonna grow. If you don't understand money and how much it takes, it's why so many people flatline. You know, it's why that guy that makes 600 grand a year and he just stops making 600, or he makes $150, or that's why the guy makes 80 and his business falls apart, okay? I don't think it was about the right vehicle. I think it was about you didn't find a vehicle that could make you enough money. And the reason you didn't find a vehicle that makes you enough money is because you were screwed up on money from the get-go. People don't have money because they don't understand money. Because your mom and dad taught you about it. 60 grand's a lot of money. There's people in Ethiopia starving. We have more than most. Be happy with what you have. Just be grateful, you know. Eat all your food. Money doesn't grow on trees. Turn out the lights. All that stuff, dude. Like, put your money in the bank, give it to the Wall Street, put it in an IRA, start young. It's all bullshit, dude. It's all bullshit. Whole thing's bullshit. Buy a house. Okay. That's the way to save money, okay? That's a way to make banks rich. Mm-hmm. So a house is an investment. No, a house is a liability. So these are things that we were all taught. People are broke. People struggle with money because they have the wrong data. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're young. And it's not because they're in the wrong vehicle.
And it's not a shortage of money. Look around. There's money everywhere.
It's everywhere, bro.
Yeah. Interesting. So you wouldn't teach, and I found out recently that you really didn't. You got into sales and you were good at it, but you didn't love it at first.
I hate sales.
Yeah, interesting.
Still hate sales today. Nothing about sales I like. Nothing. I mean, I love it when I sell something and they buy it right away. I love that. Okay, I love it when they take my first phone call. I love it when somebody calls me and says, "I want to buy your deal."
But you don't enjoy it.
Dude, I hate it. Who likes that?
People need to understand that.
I had to do an audition with NBC this week. Who are we doing with? NBC? A&E, and no, not Nat. Anyway, dude, I hated every one of them because it's a sales pitch. An audition is a sales pitch. I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard in LA, and there's the SAG. Is it SAG? What's it called? Screen Actors Guild. Well, you guys, I'm talking to you guys, man. Yeah. And if you go over there at 10 o'clock in the morning, dude, there's a line, man. It's like halfway. And my wife says, "Oh, the Screen Actors Guild." I said, "What is that?" She's like, "Those are actors." I said, "No, those are unemployed people. Those are unemployed people." But that's an unemployment line, champ. Okay, and why? Because they're doing a sales pitch. Those are salespeople, dude, that don't know how to make a pitch. So I hate the pitch, bro. I hate it. Now that being said, you know,
you understand the importance of it.
You better love the shit you hate. But that's the only thing that's going to separate you from everybody else. Yeah. Everybody says, love what you do, you know, and the money's going to follow. I say, no, man, love what you hate, okay? Be great at what you hate because nobody else wants to do it. Yeah. Not even salesmen like being salesmen.
Well, a lot of people say, I'm not good at sales. It's not for me. I'm not like the salespeople.
Yeah.
And then they don't do it.
Yeah.
You need to say that and say, shit, I still need to do it to make money, to make sure I feed my family, but also make sure I'm getting wealthy and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, and you need to quit saying you don't like sales because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to quit walking around being a little bitch too. Okay, you don't walk around and say, I got gas. It's just not attractive. Okay, I got chlamydia. Okay, so look, everybody takes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you don't have to enjoy it. That might
well, no, you should enjoy it. You should act like you enjoy it. Yeah. You should put a smile on. Act like a pro. Okay.
Now I have an image.
Yeah. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying it because, look, man, it don't matter if you don't like something. Your whole life, 50% of your life is going to be doing stuff you don't like. Okay? You have a little baby girl. She vomits on you. You don't. What are you going to do? God, I can't do this. No, man, you're going to father up. Yep. You're going to mama up and do it.
I'm looking at these houses. 20, 30 million up to Larry Ellison's 100 million, 50 million. Probably every one of those people, unless they got inheritance, they're doing stuff they don't like every day, and that's why they live in these places. Yeah. I see that, and I think about that stuff. The people that don't do the things that they hate doing, they do them every day, they're the ones that get to see the great lifestyle,
Dude, the guy that lives in this house, okay? Let me tell you what $20 million house, he rents it for $100,000 a week. These doors that he spent 50 grand on, they're going to have to be replaced in 12 months. Okay, go around here and look at all the paint that's getting jacked off. You know? It's like endless, man. It's that toaster over there. It's good for about 9 months. The refrigerator will be dead in a year. Okay, there's electrical up in the ceiling here that you don't see. It all looks pretty and everything. This place is falling apart right in front of our eyes. Okay, because that ocean out there, that ocean is going to beat the out of this place. Okay, endlessly, relentlessly, 365, sun and salt, dog, is going to tear this place down to the ground sooner or later. So even the guy that owns this great house has to do stuff he doesn't want. Got to protect it, secure it, take care of it. You know, everything needs to be taken care of. So do what you hate. It'll pay you.
That's big. I wish I knew that at an earlier age too. So I'm going to go back to the money thing because that's you listen to 1,000 interviews online, 1% maybe talk about money. Maybe.
Yeah.
People like shy away from that. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you need money. What's a not comfortable, what's a number that you think people should have that consider them rich and they can live comfortably?
Rich?
Yeah. Wealthy.
Well, it's different.
Wealthy and rich.
Okay. So.
What's a number for people to shoot
rich?
For?
To be rich?
Just straight
super
money,
rich or
straight
rich?
Money. Just rich. Like an
what
amount.
What does that mean, though? I don't know what that means.
I'm asking you.
Because everybody watches is going to be like, I got a different definition. Okay, well, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, how much money?
20 million, but
okay.
You need 20 million. You need 20 million. You need 20 million to be rich. You probably need 50 million to be wealthy. You need 100 million to make a move, you know, and north of that, then it starts getting good. Even those levels, but you start talking about 200 million, 300 million, 400, you can start making some plays. But look, I know a guy's got $900 million in the bank right now. I mean, I saw the money. I said, dude, show me your freaking bank account. He sold the company worth $4 billion, $28 billion. He walked away with $4 billion. I said, man, show me your checking account. He's like, I said, you look at it every day, right? He's like, yeah. I said, show it to me. I need to see that shit, man. I want to see that. Okay, it was so inspirational, man. There's like $911 million. I literally had to look at it over and over again.
You got a
because
screenshot.
my eyes couldn't focus on the zeros. I couldn't read it. I'd never seen this before, you know. And I said, dude, like, tell me, let me see your Merrill Lynch account. Okay, so he shows me his accounts. Day before, he lost like $400 million. That's what it means to have that kind of money. Like, you're making huge moves. And by the way, I said, man, how you feel about losing $400 million? He said, it's all right.
I'll get it back.
It's all right, man. I'll make $500 today. Oh. So it was like, the play, the thing. Now, do I need that much money? You know,
the answer is yes.
Dude, it'd be fun to play with it, man. It'd be fun to say, hey, man, I'm going to give $100 million to my church. You know, I'm going to leave $100 million. I mean, I would love to make that play. I would love to have enough money to actually affect massive change. And I mean, look, I've done really well. I'm really happy. I'm very, very grateful. You know, we come here. It costs a lot of money to come here. It costs money to bring people here. I've been broke. I've been rich. Yeah. And I've been wealthy. And they don't make you happy. One level, you're not. If you're unhappy, you're going to be unhappy if you're wealthy. But at least you're wealthy. You know. And so I would rather be unhappy and wealthy than unhappy and broke. Okay, because I've done the broke thing.
With you.
I did the experiment. Okay, it didn't make me happy. Yeah. I was disgusted with myself. And by the way, I was broke most of my career. So even when I have money, like I was making $1 million a year and I was broke. So nobody can tell me $1 million is a lot of money because I know when you have $1 million, I know where it goes. If you make $1 million a year and you live in the state of California, you end up with about $400,000. Okay, if you're trying to send your kids to great schools, if you want a couple of nice cars, you want to live in a great place, you want to give some money to your church, you don't have any
groceries,
money.
Clothes, yeah. But people have this misconception. So what do you tell the person? Let's bridge the gap a little bit.
Do the math.
What do you tell the person that's right now watching, in their head arguing? It's not about that. I'm good with 80K. What do you tell that person?
You need to do math. You haven't done basic math, okay? Now, the reason I went to school was every class I ever went to, I was going to get rich. I said, I want to be rich since I was 8 years old. So I don't know if you've heard the quarter story. Did you hear my quarter story? I lost a quarter.
And your uncle said something?
Yeah, my grandpa.
Say it again. Yeah.
Well, I lost a quarter. My dad said, don't play with money. Got all pissed off at me. Never play with money. And my grandfather grabbed me later and he says, never go anywhere with one quarter. And that was a life changer, dude. That was a game changer for me. I'm like, shit, man, that was a mistake, man. I only have 1 quarter. I got to get some quarters, right? And then you get all this stuff about money doesn't grow on trees. You can't have unlimited money, and it's hard to get money, and it's difficult. And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's money everywhere, man. So go down to 405 here on your way home. Just count money. 30 grand, 30 grand, 30 grand, 30 grand. Just count the cars. You'll be at billions in no time, right? Count the houses up and down, right? So count the palm trees, man. These palm trees are worth $4 grand a pop. So, dude, I've been, since my dad died, I've been interested in the money game. Because I noticed that whoever had the money had control of my house. My dad had the money. He made the money. He had control. He decided where we went, when we left, how long we stayed. That's all I really wanted. I didn't want the money. I wanted the control, right? I want to be able to lose a quarter and still go to the store. But when you lose your only quarter and you're 8 years old, you can't go to the store. So I lost my ability to go to the store, and that's when my grandpa said, look, never go any place with 1 quarter. So every class I've ever been to since I was 10 years old, 11th grade, 12th grade, college, I was going for one thing. Who's going to show me how to get money?
But most of them didn't.
None of them did.
Yeah.
I have an accounting degree, 5 years in a college, good college. There was not one course on how much money is enough money for someone not to worry about money.
Are they not teaching it because it does not benefit them to teach it?
Well, how's a guy that's making 70 grand a year going to teach you anything about money? I mean, really, come on.
There's a kid that just posted on Facebook, I'm not going to give details, in our academy that's making about 15 grand a month, close to 20, 16, I think, 17. And he said he's not going to go to high school anymore. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's just, he's going to make 200K at 17. His teachers are bitching at him for certain things, and they're making 40.
Yeah.
It's an interesting world how that can happen.
Yeah. Things are changing, man.
I know.
You know, nobody knows online how old I am. You know?
You're 37?
No.
Looks good for his age.
I'm probably 600 trillion.
I think you're supposed to live, if you eat super healthy, to like 110. No one does that. So
I don't think you die. That's what I think.
I want to talk about scale.
My goal is to never die.
What's your plan? What's the action steps for that?
My goal is to live beyond my body.
You want to dive into that now?
You know, that's my goal.
There's no limits in this interview.
I mean, I'm planning for the heaven and hell thing, but I'm banking on the reincarnation deal.
Got it.
The immortality thing.
Makes sense. And I can see, you're not joking.
Oh, I'm not joking, for sure. But I do have my rebuttals ready for God. In case I get up there and he's like, dude, a lot of cussing going on. A lot of throwdown.
You've done more good than bad.
That's right.
That's funny. So let's switch gears to branding and social media and scale. One thing that I learned, luckily from mentors, was figure out obviously what's most important to you, know yourself, and then make sure you have the right vehicle that hits those values. So for me, I made sure I was focusing on things that scaled, because it doesn't matter if you are making $1,000 an hour. If you're trading time for money and that's all you do, it's tough to get wealthy. So for you, how important is scale as far as making sure what you do can scale to unlimited amounts of money versus someone that's capped?
Yeah.
Is that important to know at a specific age or any age?
Yeah, I mean, look. First you got to get your head right about where you're going and why you're going there. In the beginning, I think you need to add in. You need to work in increments. You know, I talk about it right here in this book. Right, when you're trying to stack money, you work in increments. Every day you're working in increments. I got to pay the bills. That's the reality of the situation. I got to pay bills, so I got to work in increments. But I'm looking for surges and spikes. I'm looking for scale. Right now, some guys will tell you, "Hey, man, don't monetize now." I'm like, bro, I got to pay bills. Yeah. Okay, I think you're missing a little piece of the equation here. My daddy didn't give me anything. There was nothing to give me. He died, man. So I don't have any money to work with. Most people are operating with no money. I have to pay the rent this month. So the first money that somebody asked me one day, what's the best money you ever made? I said, the best money I ever made was when I went from making $3 grand a year selling cars to making $3 grand a month to selling cars to $4 grand a month selling cars. When I had that first $1,000, that was the best money I've ever made in my whole life. The most exciting money I've ever made was that $1,000. I made $100 million on one deal in my career. That $1,000 meant more to me. I mean, it's hard to kind of make that, but I don't think I'd have made that 100 at one time if I wouldn't have made that 1,000, because it gave me like, oh my God, first time in my life, I can actually change my income. And I think most people think they cannot change their income. So I would work in increments, and I would be looking for scale. I would be looking to scale a business out. I would not try to just drop into a business that scales, because I think you're skipping, I got to pay the bills.
Yeah, and the foundation. And
yeah.
It makes sense. And how important do you think book? How important is it to create content that scales, to write a book, to create courses, to have, shows like you do? How important is it to create content that scales? Like book, let's just stick with the book. How important is it to write a book? Is that important?
I think it's important for somebody to write a book so they understand how little they actually understand about what they're doing. you know. So I think most people don't have any clue. They don't know. You're right. I think people don't know until they start writing what they don't know. And I think every book I've ever written has helped me clear up what I didn't know.
Interesting.
So the 10X rule was written for me. If you're not first, you're last was written for me. Sell or Be Sold, dude, literally saved my life. That book was written to save my family's life. It was 2009. The economic recession had just went full on hardcore.
That came a couple years before 10X rule.
Oh yeah, that was the first book. Sell or Be Sold was the first book, and that book was not written for the public. That book was written for me to figure out how am I going to get my family out of this bullshit, stupid shit that I just did. Yeah. And then I realized, the whole world's a salesperson again, because all that free credit had been sucked out of the marketplace. So,
that book was a game changer for you.
Oh yeah, the book was a total game changer for me. We went out and sold books during the Great Recession, door to door. Okay, that book it was self-published. I wrote it in 3 hours, full of grammatical problems, and I went door to door, business to business, selling it. We sold more books. I sold more books. That book sold more books than my New York Times bestseller. Wow. The book's never been in a bookstore. But it also gave me the confidence. Okay, I could scale out. I can go out wide because I had been stuck in a vertical. So
did you see the business grow from that too? Because of your notoriety and because of the publicity it brought?
Not really. Not the first one. Okay. And then I did the second one, followed it up. And then the third one, I got a book deal. But the books aren't going to do the deal for you. Everybody's out there trying to, they got a book to release and they're number one on Amazon. Dude, it doesn't matter. If you got the number one best-selling book in the world, and it's aspirational and self-help, you can count that for about like a 0.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you're going to write a Harry Potter series, go get it, okay? But if you're going to write a books like me and you write, and you become number one New York Times bestseller, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Amazon, let me tell you what that's going to convert to. About nothing, okay? What are you going to do after that? Okay, you're not going to get speaking gigs because of it. You might get a podcast or two. Okay, nobody's going to know you. You're not going to get a movie. You're not going to get a speaking career. Tony's not going to call you and say, be on my stage.
You got to put the work in after.
Well, dude, that means nothing. You wrote a fucking book. I mean, come on. Nobody's going to even read it.
These days, anybody can write a book. That's the problem.
Dude, 50 years ago, anybody could write a book. You know, if you got ink and you got paper, you can write a book. But if you can't sell it and nobody gets it, it don't matter. By the way, 50% of the books that are bought, so when they say, you're a New York Times best-selling author, half the people that bought that book didn't read it, man. Yep. So like, if you got real good stuff, your biggest problem is not selling books. It's getting anybody to read it after they bought it. That's why when I release a book, we go audio, video, downloads, links, short books, playbooks. This book turned into a 40-pound book.
Wow.
I never show anybody the 40-pound book. I show them that book.
So you didn't, what I want to really have people conceptualize, you didn't write the book because you're like, I got to write a book to become a best-selling author. You wrote the book because it saved your life and you were writing everything that you were feeling in the moment, and it was full of errors. It wasn't perfect.
No, definitely.
You're writing your way
I'm trying to write what my people are going to have to do to sell out of this situation.
So it was like...
Then we took all that content, laid it down in video, and then we took that content and we started selling it to companies, okay? We didn't go sell a $15 book or a $15 program. We went and sold an $80,000 product. So when you talk about scale, most people, when they say scale, they're talking about something $99 or $9.99. We did an $80,000 product.
That was a training.
Yeah, and went and sold it to companies. Just in the last 3 years have we released any of those products to individuals. So while everybody's been playing the entrepreneurial game, big scale, very wide, we were playing we weren't playing a vertical, because we'll call on anybody from Ashley to Sprint to Toyota, or to Northern Trust, a bank, or to an insurance company. We were going big margins, high prices, much more difficult calls, and validating the product with big sales forces, and then it came back and in just in the last 33 months actually opened it up to entrepreneurs.
So no one's thinking like that when they have a book. They're thinking the book is the end all be all.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the $80,000 backplay or making sure they continue the business.
And they don't. And back to your original question, how important are products? You know, do you know anybody with $80,000 products?
But here's what I like about you. You'll sell something that's $99 like you sell something that's 10 grand. You're fired up.
Oh, totally.
It's like $19.99. I'm selling it.
You know, I'll push this book for free as hard as I'll push an $80,000 program. Because to me, it's all flows. I'm thinking in flows, right? Like it goes back to the body thing, right? It goes back to life. All of life is a flow. That's why I love coming to the ocean, bro, because the flows don't stop here. Okay, that ocean comes
24/7.
in and it goes out. Comes in, it goes out. Mama says, quit, stop asking me. The ocean don't stop. It don't stop, I don't stop. You know?
That's funny.
So it just keeps coming in and goes out, keeps coming in. So it gives me permission, man, to be me.
So I want to end with this. You said something a while back that I wanted to clarify. You have a specific image online, like a hard ass, don't be a little bitch, you push people, and you're aggressive in a way.
I don't work on that image, by the way.
I know. But you said you still,
it's not like I'm trying to do something.
You still
So
don't
everybody
know
knows.
how to get words out, you say sometimes. You say you're working on your image in a way, but it's cool to hear that you said that you're not sure how you're getting it's hard. I can't remember exactly what you said. You said something about
When did I say it?
on Lewis's.
Okay.
You said that you still don't know how to get words out right sometimes. You're still just pushing and pushing, and you wish you were better at saying certain things. But it's cool to see you vulnerable saying that when people don't even realize that you're
Lewis
not.
did a great job in that interview, by the way. Lewis was like, he's a super interviewer. I don't know, he tapped into something in me. Definitely.
It was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. You say you wish you were better with words sometimes.
No, I mean, I wish I was better at everything. There's nothing. I wish I was a better dad. I wish I was a better friend to John. Wish I was a better boss. I wish I was better at, real estate. I wish there's nothing I don't wish. Frank Sinatra only had a few regrets. I got a lot of them, dude,
Is there anything you want people to know about you that they might not know about the behind the scene Grant?
Well, I'm not just a hard ass. I'm a fun dude. I have a lot of fun. I think when people see me having fun, they're annoyed by it. They're like, well, that's just not right. Dude, when you have fun, you do shit that ain't right too. Like when you're with your buddies, you say shit that you're like, okay, I can say that here, right? So, I mean, I live in America, man. If you can't say whatever the hell you want in this country, laugh. I have a lot of fun. I think a lot of people don't understand how much fun. I think they take my fun when I'm having fun is like, oh, he's some arrogant dude or something, and I probably am arrogant.
It's better than being insecure.
I'm not insecure. I'm definitely not insecure. So.
People always talk about you're cocky, not you, but in general, you're cocky, you're confident, you're arrogant. I'd rather be that than insecure and frustrated and hate who I am. So it's good to be cocky and confident.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not thinking about like, oh, I got to walk a certain way. I think, or talk, or I got to, now's the moment for don't be a little bitch. When I say that, man, I'm not being mean. I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about when I bitched out. When I say get rich, man, I'm talking about when I'm talking to me. I'm not really talking to other people. When I write a book, it's not for the audience, right? When I wrote this book after a charity event. I was at a charity event. There was maybe 200 people in the room. We raised $2 million. That's unheard of, okay? 200 people raised $2 million on a Sunday night. One dude gave $1 million, okay? We couldn't get there. And what I experienced when that dude said that was everybody in the room, 199 people, wanted to be that dude.
So let's end with this, Grant. I want people watching to have that aha moment or that electrifying moment that you had with this, where you want to take action. What is the final words for people right now? They're watching, they're hungry, they're fired up. What's the parting advice for them to really take what they're learning and take action right away? What's the final words that you want to
go back and listen to this whole interview again. Listen to everything that I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm not saying it to try to get you to do something. Like, you know, what am I saying? Why am I saying it? Like when we were down on the beach, the most important thing to me out of this whole thing was why do so many people not talking about money, right? Like even this interview with you, doing it with you, you know, I'm a very selfish person. I'm extremely selfish. I do almost everything for me. The books, the interviews. Hey, what am I going to learn from Peter today? What am I going to learn from Peter today? Because he took the time to ask me so I can look, hey, what's true or not true? Like I'm always in the classroom, right? I'm always in the classroom. I want to know. I don't want to learn. I'm not interested in learning. I'm not interested in more knowledge. I'm interested in knowing so that I have 100%, you know, I want to be right. I don't want to be right for my ego. I want to be right so I can win, so I can be a good example to my kids, my wife, myself, and then I can do more things right than wrong, man. You know?
You heard it first. Well, man, I appreciate you. I have much respect for you. And thanks for being a world-class dude, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm excited to get this out.
Thank you, brother.
See you guys.
It's 100 acres off the 95 for 100 and, you know it's 110 million, right? Not 100?
Well, hello there. Come in to the Malibu. I've been in here every single day. Sometimes you might have to put in a couple years worth of paying the price so that you can pay any price and have what you really want. So if you go on a vacation, always look, you know, how can you mine the gold within that vacation and really come back with an added value to your current situation back at home.
No. Take them down to the beach.
Work while relaxing. Now it is time for you to go. I got to go.
Every time I get away and spend money, I end up making at least 10 times my money. This trip, I might make 100. I made a decision to become a billionaire on this trip. 10, baby. 10 is my favorite number, the multiple, the big multiple. 25K in a day. 25,000 times 365. My biceps are never going to be 22s, but my bank account, woo, that mother like Arnold Schwarzenegger on some deep steroids.
I just got done talking to Grant Cardone and his beautiful wife and in their beautiful home. It's fantastic. Grant he's such a powerhouse. I can't believe the information that I gained from him.
Went home every day and wrote. I own a house in La Jolla, California, on the ocean. 3 years later, I bought within 50 feet of where I was looking. I think the problem is that we were all miseducated about money. I think people stop with what they think is good enough.
They're amazing people.
It's just amazing.
For
You know,
sure.
you just get great energy and
You can tell they just want to help.
yeah, you know, you don't really get that a lot from people who are really successful.
Shoulder.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about re-educating people about the middle class. That I think that it's not a very safe place to be today. To get yourself above that.
hey, look, there's some money out there, and that money's got your name on it, and I want to show you how to get that money, hold on to that money at least for a second. Where are we going, guys?
Universal Studios.
You don't get obsessed, you're gonna get depressed.